Do they seriously make rooster noises when attacking? Wow. Welcome back to Digital Devil Saga. Last time, bad things happen, let's just say. There's a reason we're now controlling Gale. This time, though, I thought I'd start by picking up some chests in the Interment facility that I missed, and that's only because one of them just happens to be really, really, really important, and it's not that one. I think it's in the jailer's room. Yes, there is a rare chest just over here. Couldn't blame you for being distracted by all the mess in here. The Trick Ring! This is actually one of my favorite Karma rings, and of course I miss out on it for several dungeons. Trick Ring, Auto Sukukaja / Tarunda when battle starts. Now this normally sounds kind of bad, you'll be evading more and more accurate, but you'll also do less damage, until you realize that Tarunda only applies to physical attack in this game. So if you put this on a magic user, it's essentially free Sukukaja with no drawbacks, and I really, really like this on CLO, though I'm gonna have to give the Reach Ring to somebody else, maybe Gale. But yeah, the Trick Ring is a ring that I like to customize a lot, with basically everything that boosts agility. Which I don't actually have a ton of right now. But you can quite easily get it up to like a +10 agility bonus, which on top of its Auto Sukukaja, makes Cielo and Cielo's natural evasiveness, makes him dodge very often. I like this ring a lot. Ah, that wasn't the encounter. Oh, by the way, Argilla's currently working on Hiten, because she just mastered the Esoteric Mantra. And Roland masters Ice Leader. Having Bufula on him, I mean, I might as well set that over regular Bufu. The reason why I have such a variety of elements on Roland right now, is just in case one of those special encounters shows up. But this does mean he needs a new mantra. My guess is, yeah, that's a little much for him right now. Oh, yeah, let's put him back on Holy Beast. I actually forget. Yeah, Field Hunts do indeed Oh, hang on. So Field Hunts do indeed respawn in this game, but Serve is the only one with a model for Field Hunts, so we can't do them anymore. Though the simple fact they even let you try implies that he may not be gone forever. As a bit of a PSA of demonstration, whenever you are low on HP or MP and you have access to the world map, just come here. It'll save you money. So now get back to what we were actually doing, which was, cutting the power so all the Earth's data is not being uploaded directly into God at a rate, at a ridiculous broadband transmission rate. Yeah, that seems important. Speaking of importance, make sure you're ready before you head to the power plant dome. Once you start this dungeon, you won't be able to leave until it's over, and once it's over, you will not be able to return to the power plant. Now, in a display of amazing game design, they didn't put any karma rings in the power plant, so you don't need to worry about any missable collectibles here. But I still want to warn you about this. It's a pretty big milestone, and you'll want to be ready. Yeah, meanwhile, we still have the, yes, we're all gonna die music playing right now. Power Plant Dome. This area actually looks a little bit Final Fantasy VII-ish. Yeah, you'd think that whoever's manning this power station would just let us in. Not shutting off the power means everyone on Earth dies. The soldiers inside are putting up quite a fight. Who would have a vested interest in letting the world die? Huh. Okay, well at least that's an internal reveal because we the player know that she's dead, but the Embryon don't, so now they know. So, it looks as though, as we kind of suspected, that just because she was Margot Cuvier's enemy doesn't mean that Jenna isn't also our enemy. Angel is going to be coming after us, so her Red Chaos faction, they're going to be serving as random encounters for this dungeon. Yeah, we knew we couldn't really trust anybody in the Karma Society. Yeah, she's really just a scared little girl when it comes down to it. Can we really trust the, well, scared little boy with that job? I mean, at least Surf not being here means less NPCs to talk to in these areas. I mean, that's a small thing, I suppose. Expect some company, Gale. Yeah, Roland has really good lines. I love a lot of his dialogue. So now it's time for the power plant. This is a very interesting dungeon. I like this place a lot. Because it's going to seem very linear from the start, but then it's going to expand itself in a very unique way. It also has a very kind of ominous song to it. It's a little basic as far as music goes. Weirdly, the song reminds me a bit of a game I played as a kid called Dr. Brain. I can't really explain why, because it doesn't really sound like any of the music from that game, but I don't know, it's just giving me that vibe. So, we've got some makeshift barricades set up where the Lokapala are going to be attempting to hold off Angel's forces. But considering that this dungeon have to have random encounters, we know that they're not going to do a very good job. I mean, you know, I do appreciate the fact that they're willing to lay down their lives for us. It's, yeah. I would say touching, but I also just don't like the fact they're all gonna die. And yeah, here's the point of no return. Let's go. Wait, hang on. Wait, did a character voiced by one of Shadow's actors just say that phrase?
Let's get moving.
Okay, wow. Wow. That's all I have to say. So yeah, get used to a lot of these really small rooms. Actually, wow, this place really does look like the Mako reactor from Final Fantasy VII. Pink crystal, what is this, Crash Bandicoot? I mean, I guess those crystals are more purple. Well, okay, you're already throwing them at us. So, hello there, Black Ooze. Black Ooze, I believe, just comes from Dungeons & Dragons, as far as the demon lore goes. Repel death, strong to physical and gun. I've noticed there aren't actually a ton of physical immune enemies in this game. There are a few of those in the first one. Weak to elect, earth, and expel. So, quite a lot of weaknesses on these guys. And we've got earth on Agila. I should probably put an AoE earth attack on her, though. They are weak to electricity too, so, Oh, I got Martera, I could go for that. And, yeah, Black Oozes probably not really in your best interest to devour them, if it's gonna end the battle. But if you've got more time to use, Dis-Aches, you probably can. Remember, eating, things that give you food poisoning? Totally fine, as long as the ache happens in time for you to use a Dis-Ache. This has been I Do Comprehend with Gale. Life lessons for young and old. So yeah, now there's only one left. Let's just get rid of it. We're not going to even attempt to devour. Of course, you guys drop odd morsels to give us even more chances of getting a stomachache. Okay, so we've got a small karma terminal here, obviously in your best interest to save. Also, I just noticed something. With Surf gone, my healing battery build is gone. So I'm going to need to rely on Agila and Cielo's MP to keep me topped up. Thankfully, Cielo starts with a lot of good guaranteed healing skills. Or starts with good healing skills guaranteed, you get the idea. However, we have not quite addressed the awesome shopkeeper in the room. This is the shop. Wherever I set up shop, that's where the shop is. Got it? It's a serious business, remember that. This is important. Human life doesn't sell cheap. I don't need to know what happened. I'm sure that silver-haired kid spent his on something precious. Remember, whether it's a life at stake or profit, it's all the same. So at least he is honoring Surf's sacrifice in his own way. Now, there is actually a lot of enemies, including bosses in this dungeon, that are weak to Zeo, and there's a sound coming from behind the door. Well, let's enter. In fact, actually, wait, if I'm remembering right, I think you want fire before you go in here. And with Surf gone, my only sources of fire are Roland and Cielo. I may actually need to hastily get some fire skills on some people, because the major boss of this dungeon is very, very fire weak, and you definitely want fire as much as possible. Yeah, so you keep repeatedly shoving that rod into that monitor. That's going to break it more. I like how I shortened to the point there. It's too late and you're about to die anyway. Oh, they are blue armband ones, huh? I guess they're still carrying out Margot Cuvier's will. I don't know. Anyway, we have Nagas here. They're weak to fire and earth, but their upgraded version that we'll be seeing later in the dungeon is only weak to fire. That's why I talked about having fire skills. Yep, there goes one of them, and you're about to go down too, hopefully. Oh, that was easy. But we don't want to rest on our laurels just yet. Because we can't get any further, as they broke the power, console that powers up this. Is that old logic of smashing the monitor equals smashing the whole computer? Like, really, the rest of this thing besides the monitor, they should have smashed that up too? But the good news is, this trope leads to something very cool. Also, I just realized we brought Sarah in. I guess she's safer with us.
I get it. If these consoles are broken, the doors automatically lock. We don't have time to waste fixing them.
All we need is something that can force electrical signals through them. Like this.
Great thing we have an electrical demon on our side.
Whoa!
I like that whistle.
It read my will to open the gate as a signal.
You're quite the clever one, aren't you, Roland?
You're hard to please.
You got a point. That was pretty impressive.
What can I say? It's no big deal. My Atma's the lightning bolt.
I see now. Intriguing. Electric signals and human will can both be seen as data. Does this suggest God's true nature?
That's a pretty big jump, Gale, just saying. But yeah, well, human will is just electric signals in the brain, so I suppose they are linked. But yes, on this episode of Comprehending with Gale, remember kids, don't stick your hand into an electrical power outlet, unless you can transform into the Hindu god of thunder, then it will help you progress. Please don't take that advice at all. So that's the gimmick of this dungeon. We've got these bulkheads in our way. In order to get through them, we have to follow the wires to the terminal that controls them, and get an encounter. But other than that, we need to get Roland to shove his hand into them. So we've got Alilat showing up here as a regular enemy. Feels a little early for Alilat, but this is actually like weirdly late game, even though the levels are only like 30. She has a lot of strong skills. Repel all magic. Null expel death ailments, weak to gun. Yeah, Alilat's a very strange encounter. Remember though that she's not resistant to any hunt skills, so the general idea is to hit her with a gun weakness and then use a devour skill. And here's where the change ring can help. If you have that on a character, they'll be able to change into human form for free. But yeah, Alilat is one of the tougher. To be honest, like, I'm gonna fight her once, but I don't really find her that worth fighting, personally. Okay, yeah, so she is frightened now. So I can go for the Devil Feast with Roland. There we go. Now, it says large quantity of Atma points. It's honestly, like look at that. She's really not worth that much for how much effort it takes to fight her, so I like to just run away. It's kind of a shame, because it's kind of a cool concept for an enemy, but yeah, they just don't give, like, and they're usually only encountered in, like, as a group of 1, too. It's just not worth fighting in my mind. The only thing that makes running away potentially bad is that you could fail and she could smack you with some dying skills. That's really it. So now we have another save point. Okay, yeah, the moment that somebody maxes their next mantra, I'm gonna have them work on fire, because I want some fire skills for the boss. Like, I had some of Surf's other areas, like, I was trying to sneakily cover the fact that Surf leaves the party by working on certain, like, by prioritizing certain mantras on other characters, but I forgot to cover fire. Whoops. So, this time, the wire leads this way, but it's a little more elaborate now. Gradual escalation is the name of the game in this dungeon. Now, they probably put a free heal point in here just because... Okay, thank you so much for transforming. Just because, no thank you for not transforming. Just because, like, you're locked into this dungeon now. So, yeah, you could easily softlock yourself if there wasn't a free heal point in here. However, we now have an Ifrit. Drain Fire, as you could probably tell by looking at it, weak to ice and mute. Ifrit means strong one, and is a type of jinn, usually portrayed as spirits of fire in Arabic mythology. They're the second most powerful form of jinn after the Married, which I know from Dungeons & Dragons. I think Ifrits are also in D&D. Anyway, well, actually, maybe you might end up transforming, but good time to get Buffalo on you. I kind of lost my main ice user as well. How about Zahn? Please transform. Nope, okay. Well, I'm just gonna rush you down. Even though I'm gonna get, like, you know you suck when I don't even want to bother wasting my MP on you when I'm in front of a free MP heal point. Yeah, I thought it was Angel's Red Forces that you fought in this place. And okay, now we're on the other side of this. Let's keep following this green wire. Yeah, I do like these subtle, well, not subtle, they're pretty unsubtle once you realize what they are, but you might not notice at first. These environmental indications that tell you where you should go next. So now let's head back to the bulkhead. Okay, Yaxini was in the last dungeon and they were weak to Zio. Double level up. Thank you, Magic on Agila. Thank you, recovering MP on my main healer, essentially. Yeah, so we actually do get slightly different dialogue for the party member gifts now that Gale's the leader. Well, now that you guys are a regular encounter, I can scan you. Thank you for the miss completely. Naga, Repel, Elec, weak to fire and earth. They just use zero skills, but the ones we'll encounter later in this dungeon will not do the same thing. Naga are divine or semi-divine beings that are half human, half serpent in Hinduism. Some of the comments actually pointed out to me there might be, like, lore reasons for why stomachache's less common in the second game. We're much more used to eating demons now. Either that, or somehow devouring real living beings is less harsh in our stomachs than devouring data when we're an AI. I don't know. So yeah, so far this dungeon has been a pretty linear path, but that's about to change. But it's about to change in a very interesting way. Magic Mirror, nice, okay. Yeah, those cover the whole party in this game, and they might actually be useful against the boss that's upcoming. Of course, we still have to deal with you guys. Oh, nice, Gale barely survived. Oh, he doesn't have enough HP to use a Devour skill, that sucks. Some parts of this music remind me a little bit of Oh We All from Wizard of Oz. Revival Gem, always nice to have more of those, not that they help us with Surf, but still. Again, we didn't see him die, he just disappeared into the Cosmic Egg. So yeah, this is where this dungeon gets more interesting, because now, there are 2 wires we can follow. The red wire or the blue wire. We need both of these to open this door. And if we try and work left to right, and follow the blue wire first, here, we now have, and we know that the blue wire goes beyond this, we now have another bulkhead. So now they're doubling the security. In order to open the earlier bulkhead, we have to open this one first and follow this yellow wire. So, to follow the yellow wire, we have to head downstairs, and this was actually the area where I beat my first Omoikane in my first playthrough, and I have never seen a single one in this run so far, which is really bizarre. They might be like that's a very extreme close-up, okay. They might be like a 1% encounter or something, but anywhere. Anyway, Raiju, just means electric beast, drains elect, null earth, weak to force. Well, I've got enough force for this. Raijus are from Japanese lore, and they might take the shape of a cat, fox, weasel, white wolf, blue wolf, or a wolf wrapped in lightning, which is what this one is. And wait, no, you still have Zan, right? Yes, you do. And I have Mazan as a combo, so that's pretty cool. Aha! I'm gonna use Render Sunder, because it's probably, yeah, it was gonna die to it anyway. Okay, well, now let's go ahead and get a Devour on you, because I think you're low enough. There we go. Do you like the sounds these things make when they die? Okay, well, at least I got a little bit of AP. Once again, I've got pretty much enough Dis-Aches to last me for the entire game, so I'm not really that worried. Continue following the yellow wire. Okay, so clearly the yellow wire goes in there, but I want to check the rest of this area first. Actually, the yellow wire goes multiple places. I'm also not really sure what these things would taste like when devouring. They're like those, like, Shock Tart candy or something. Or in this case, it's not actually a treasure, it's an optional save point. Power Plant C implies that we were meant to take this path first. I mean, I would say left to right is a natural order for a lot of people, but actually this game was made in Japan where they read right to left. But we do have 2 new enemies here that I can spyglass. We have Gorgon and we have Chatterskull. Repel death, weak to earth and poison. A lot of earth-weak enemies in this dungeon. Gorgon means dreadful one or terrible, and they're female snake-bodied monsters originating from Greek lore. And now let's spyglass the Chatterskull. Chatterskull is actually based off of a real-world legend of the Laughing Skull, about a convent in Santo Domingo haunted by a laughing skull, and it's said that people who hear that skull's laughter die. Overload is a little scary. These things can explode on you, basically. It's a self-destruct attack. Null, Earth, and Death. Well, actually, Null Earth. Weak to Ice, Expel, Charm, and Panic. I do not believe No, I don't have the Tentarafu combo in this group. But I could easily get the Tentarafu combo by deploying Cielo in. He still has Pulimpa, right? I hope he still has Pulimpa. Otherwise, this will be very embarrassing. Well, that's... okay, I have legitimately never seen that before in my life. However, yeah, we have Tentarafu combo. Sorry, Gale. Okay, well, maybe I can Dis-Stone him. No, I do not have any Dis-Stones. I should have bought those. This is actually really bad. Am I gonna have to walk all the way back to the... okay, hang on. This is weird. I kind of want her to just hit Gale and kill him. Please just kill Gale. Because it's easier, like, I can just revive if that's the case, whereas I don't have any Dis-Stone. So the only way that I'll be able to actually cure Gale is if I just let him die here. Yeah, you take basically nothing from attacks that are not physical or force when you're petrified, but if you get hit by either of those, you basically die. There we go. Yeah, so now that he's broken in pieces, I can actually just revive him. It's such a weird thing to bank on. It's just like, yeah, I want you to outright kill him rather than keep him petrified, because that's easier for me to cure. But anyway, turns out I was actually totally wrong about that earlier. This just leads to a chest. It's actually not the way to progress. And that contains a Sakura. which is not actually the highest selling flower in this game. Oh yeah, I should mention, there are no large karma terminals in this place, as you would expect from a place you can only visit once. So, if you need to teleport back to the start of the dungeon, you can't. And that's bad for me because I need to buy deer stones. Mute shot, okay. Well, we no longer have, Surf's gun. I guess the next best gun we have is Argilla, so she can take mute shot. Lakshmi, okay. That was a very late game enemy, and I mean specifically Final Dungeon enemy in DDS1, but in DDS2, I don't think I don't remember this thing ever killing me, which probably makes, yeah, it only has like Hummer skills. It doesn't have Dormant or Calm Death anymore, which is very, very thankful. Repel, Expel, Drain Ice, Null Charm, and Mute weak to Force. Better resistances than last, well, not better. Better for us, like easier for us to handle resistances too, however, it was not immune to Panic, so I can just do that. Well, that kind of sucks, but... Oh no, you only use it on yourself. Yeah, so I believe Hummer skills actually are based on, like, stats in terms of their accuracy in this game. Unlike in most games where Hummer is instant kill and purely based on luck. I feel like there's even some SMT games where, like, Hummer and Mudor skills have 2 hit rates. One of them that's based on your stats, and the other that is the actual chance of the instant kill activating that is based on luck. I don't mean luck as a stat, I mean luck just, you know, luck in general. Yeah, the thing about Gorgon here actually reminds me of, like, something that I often see, like, talked about online is that, like, some people think the original Medusa myth was, like, really, like, it was, like, considered pretty bad because it sort of, like, victim blames her. She got turned into a monster because, like, Poseidon abused her. That version was actually a later version of the myth, and it was actually written by somebody who had a political agenda, and, like, this was specifically meant to be, like, a terrible thing. Granted, I'm mostly just paraphrasing from Overlay Sarcastic Productions, but, like, the guy who wrote that usually depicted the Greek gods very negatively. So, yeah, the original version of the Medusa story, Medusa was just like a monster with no redeeming qualities. Yeah, like, sorry to get into a potentially, like, weird topic, but the reason why I bring it up is I've seen, like, a lot of D&D creators talk about how, like, the Gorgon or Medusa comes from an inherently problematic myth, but the real context is the person who wrote it, it was meant to be problematic in context, and, yeah, you were meant to sympathize with Medusa in that particular version of the story. So, like, I don't think the monster itself is inherently problematic in that case. Wow, that is a strong, Magaru combo. Yeah, I was told in the comments that Tentarafu was kind of set at a high... Like, Tentarafu, the combo skill, not Tentarafu, the actual individual skill, has, like, roughly the same power level as, like, Mardine combos. That explains how strong it is. Okay, we got hit by that there. So this actually is a good opportunity for me to also mention something. So Cielo is, I did say earlier about, like, oh yeah, Cielo still has his ailment weakness. That's not entirely true. I do remember reading this somewhere, but then, like, the in-game description still just says he's weak to quote-unquote ailments. But Cielo is not actually weak to all ailments in DDS2. He's, it's technically a buff to him. He's only weak to Nerve, Charm, and Panic, I believe. Now, Nerve does include both stun and sleep, so it's more than 3, but still. Now, what this does mean is that Cielo is not weak to Mute inherently, and that's going to be important for the boss of this dungeon. I'm pretty close on a whole lot of mantras at once right now. Argilla's magic's definitely getting up there, but it's no surf. Okay, I gotta go ahead and grab this. We've got Red Diamond. +3 Vitality. I don't know, I sort of prefer the offensive stats or agility for, like, Karma Ring bonuses. At least not, like, luck. Like, it's still better than luck, but at the same time, it just does feel like I get more out of increasing agility or, like, the stats where, like, every little point... I mean, Vitality is kind of that too, but... I don't know, it's hard to describe. I'm not a huge fan of pumping Vitality on Karma Rings. But yeah, now you get to go to him, which again makes me really think of the Mako, or however you pronounce that, reactor in Final Fantasy VII. And now Gale has become the master of Twilights. I actually did like the Twilight Town arc in Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I played that recently. Makakaja, Makajama on, MP Thief. Makakaja's pretty nice. Now, also if I'm remembering right, there should be a save point coming up very soon, so I'll be able to quickly get a new mantra. There is a pretty good number of save points in this place. They're very generous with these. I suppose I'll hit this before I hit the save point. So yeah, we came all this way just to hit this one thing, which is going to let us progress further towards the blue wire. So this is the kind of gimmick to the power plant, in that it starts out very linear, but then it expands outward and downward. The main path to the end of the dungeon is still the central path of the first floor. I should probably just stay here until I've got all of my close to mastered mantras mastered, though. However, with Twilight, it's going to give Gale access to physical attack and auto skills. Null Critical's kind of nice. Stun Needle, this feels like a little late for Stun Needle, though. Curse. Here we go, Rakakaja, Innovate, and Silent Howl. Innovate is a double attack debuff on the enemy, so this is one of those super debuffs. It is very expensive though, but I do probably want these by the end of the game. However, we do need more fire. Can anybody, like, jump the fire line? Actually, wait, no, Gale can't even get into fire at all. However, more people with Zionga and Bolt Flare is going to be useful coming up, and that's also going to get Gale closer to covering his weaknesses, so I'll take that on him. Okay, we got a new enemy here, and they're going first and using Tentarafu. Magic Repel? Okay, then. Oh, I'm going to Spyglass you anyway. Apis is an Egyptian cow deity worshipped in Memphis. Null Expel and Ailments, weak to Earth and Death. Yeah, if you didn't have Magic Repel right up, I'd be pretty much wrecking you right now. I suppose I can just Angelic Grace, because I don't really have much else to do. Please don't Magic Repel. Rakunda, please don't Magic Repel. Please don't Magic Repel. Okay, that's fine. Yes, when these cows moo at you, your magic power weakens. Yeah, I'd rather get rid of the cows first. Okay, speaking of which, give me that beef. Don't kill me, Yuxini. Okay. Well, that was clearly bad beef. If it was one of those, Fomorians, I could make a joke about, Dorcas and Mutton, because they would be sheep, but no. And I think that should max whatever Cielo was on. There we go. Allure, Neural Shock, Poison Mist, and Null Nerve. Which is one of his 3 weaknesses, so it's good we've got that. And some enemies in this dungeon even do use that. Also, +1 agility on Cielo with this ring is great. Problem is, this does take up one of his skill slots, but it's fine. Haven't really been using Foul Breath. So, Vidyaraja gets Cielo closer to nullifying his weakness. Holy Leader's very expensive though. Tentara, oh yeah, because that's Tentarafu. But yeah, the actual, like, individual skill Tentarafu is a lot weaker than the combo version, I think. Null Panic and Null Poison. So Cielo's not weak to Poison though, it's just Panic, and also Charm. It's very expensive. I do have flowers, but it's awkward to get to the shop. Also, we can jump straight into Ice Master if we want to, but also for a lot of money. Oh, Void Mute is all the way over here. So I have Void Mute, I don't have the Void Mute on Cielo. I'm just remembering this because I will need Void Mute for the boss. I guess I can show some of the advantages of the DDS2 mantra system. I can jump Cielo straight into Fire Lord from Maragion, which is going to be very good against the boss of the dungeon. Oh, Turdak, I remember you. You were that guy with the funny voice, who said,
Feeding time.
in the first game, but you're just a regular encounter now. Turdak is a Tibetan lesser deity who rules over charnel grounds, a servant of Yama. Null, Fire, and Death. Weak to Expel and Panic. Okay. Oh, but the cow's null elements. Maybe that was still worth it to get rid of you, though. And there's Hiten. Zanma, Shockwave, and Force Repel. Well, I can put Zanma over Zan. This isn't a very Zan-heavy dungeon. So you can probably start going to the physical part of the grid now. I could actually go for Sky Dragon, but I'm also not really into Earth Lord yet. Okay, her only fire skills are Miragi plus Fire Boost, which might still help, and it's going to be very fast to master, so I'll take this one. Yeah, we are starting to see some interesting aspects of this mantra grid system, because you can quite easily jump into other lines and master them quickly in the mid to late game. And our great leader levels up. Gale's just kind of been thrust into the leadership role now, even though he kind of already had it. I mentioned this in my commentary for the first game, but Gale was really only added to the story so that when Surf became a silent protagonist, essentially all of Surf's lines that he would have had when he was a non-silent protagonist went to Gale. And some people are a little conflicted about how that worked out, but like I'm honestly fine with the way the whole Surf-Gale dynamic when it comes to the party works, because in the grand scheme of things, everybody in this party has a different role to play, and I think Surf and Gale play their respective roles very well. I'm gonna have to MP up Cielo a bit though, because he is definitely stuck, and I'm also putting Roland back in the party because he's falling behind. I think on my first one, I actually had Roland get Mutual Karma. Wow, that is a lot of damage in a single hit from Argilla. Doesn't even have amp or anything. Yep, no teleporting in this place. But now we can get through here. Yeah, imagine if you're, like, you know, magical, powerful demon form as an all-powerful avatar tuner of the Karma Society was just a skull. That's main claim to fame was exploding itself. I mean, it's probably better than getting Slime. Or, I'd take it over Incubus. Actually, I don't think Incubus is even in any of the DDS games. Okay, there is a fight coming up in the next room. And for this fight, you want as many electric skills as possible. If anybody has Elect Boost, set that. I'm gonna take Tsukikasha on Argilla, just because she doesn't really have any Elect skills. Yeah, look at this thing. This stained glass window looking thing. It seems totally benign until... Unidentified presence detected. Attention, you have 5 minutes to evacuate. And you also hear boss music. Failure to comply will result in activation of elimination protocol. Okay, prepare yourself means tell it prepare yourself, okay. The unidentified presence must be eliminated. Well, yeah, I guess this is probably a is this what we really sound like moment, because we're AI is fighting against a robot, in this case, the device laser cannon. So, these are weak to electric skills. There's a thing in a lot of RPGs with machine bosses being weak to electric skills. But, they can use attacks mimicking every element. So, yeah, no matter what you've got, like, you're probably gonna get hit by a weakness at some point, unless you're Cielo, who also happens to have electric skills of his own. So, yeah, more reason why this game actually loves Cielo, secretly. I think Taunt shouldn't really do much, considering all you have is magical, but I hope this is not wrong. And Bolt Flare can be fun if you get lucky with the number of hits on each target. Yeah, you might hit some of them twice for some pretty severe damage. Let's go for a Tsukikasha. Actually, probably should have used Angelic Grace, but oh well. Zio, one of them. Oh, this is one of those fights where you really get to hear the best part of the mini-boss theme. Yeah, Plasma Ray is electric-based, I think. So nobody here was weak to that. I do like to try and make them miss. This is less effective against the other type of mini-boss in this dungeon that we'll be seeing probably next part. Oh yeah, 1 stack of Secunda, 1 stack of Tsukikaja on you is better than 2 stacks of either of them in this game. Gotta remember that advice. I believe it was Bubble Tea who told me that, thank you. Okay then. But, you know, now that we have 1 stack of both, let's go for some more stacks. Revert Pulse. That's not the worst thing in the world, because she wasn't really, oh, Magna Ray's Earth, okay. Actually, this is kind of a bad thing, because she, does have most of my healing. I mean, Cielo also has healing, but his MP is kind of at a premium right now. As long as you have, like, Zeo skills on a lot of people, you'll get a lot of free press turns in this fight. So, yeah. You'll be hitting them a lot more than they'll be hitting you. But they are still pretty strong. Don't underestimate this boss. In fact, I'm actually going to go for Angelic Grace now. Just get a heal and a defense buff going. Revert Pulse. That's fine-ish. Flare Ray. Yeah, that's the fire one. Actually, your gun combos might be really good in these fights. I should probably go for that on the next one. In fact, that's honestly probably what they want you to do, because Roland's kind of a focused character for this dungeon. Okay, they're in red, but they're not down yet. Let's Secunda them again, I suppose. Roland's a little low on health, but, you know what, I'm just gonna Brave Ration Roland. I was about to make a Sonic franchise joke there, but I just didn't want to, use the low-hanging fruit of the fan base, so I said nothing. Okay, there goes one of the things. Also, there is a very satisfying controller vibration when they explode. I guess we can Secunda them again. That was probably dumb, but oh well. Oh, actually, right, individual Zionga does quite a lot. But there we go, they're both down. So yeah, these bosses are actually very interesting. I like them a lot, personally. They're not worth any AP, obviously, because they're not, you know, living beings. But it's kind of nice variety that you get to fight something that's not a demon. It's just like a stationary turret. And the electric weakness makes a lot of sense, you know, given that it's a machine. Speaking of electric weakness, Roland, go nuts. Once again, he shoves his hand into power sockets for the greater good. So that activates 1/2 of this gate. So I'll see you all next time when we follow the red wire. See you then.